Okay, so this is kind of a part 2 to the last video I just uploaded about this collective energy. Because I talked about it, but I didn't really talk about too much how I dealt with it. And this is what I feel like is probably the most important part. But sorry this is so long. You can click the ×2 or however if you want to speed it up. Okay, so I saw a post the other day that was talking about this being like a collective exorcism. And it fits so fucking perfectly. I just sent a message to one of my friends talking about this. It's like when cemeteries flood and all the bodies come up and they just go through the streets. You know how that's happened in the past quite a few times? It's kind of like that. It's with all this fresh new emotion, because you know God is water, God is everything, but like especially it's all that fresh new emotion that we've been bringing in collectively, all this light, acceptance and stuff. It has gone deep and it has literally unearthed old skeletons, collective emotional, and also like thought patterns that are like skeletons in the collective consciousness. And they're flooding the streets and it's fucking terrifying. And it's like, oh my God, what the fuck, 111, what the fuck. And in my last post, I talked about the dream team. And that's what I feel this is. It's not anyone special necessarily. It's people who have been through shadow work are going to be a little better with dealing with it because they've been on this journey, as opposed to someone who's like brand new on their spiritual journey and brand new to shadow work. So we're used to seeing skeletons. We're like, oh, this is fucking creepy and kind of crazy, and I don't really want to clean this up, but we're the ones who know how to. And so we are essentially leaders in that, because everyone's going to have to get dirty because it's the collective consciousness. So it affects everybody collectively on some level or another. So my tips for dealing with this, for not attaching emotions, because that is the #1 key here, is that we cannot be attaching emotions to the thoughts that come up. We can't be seeing the skeletons pop up and then being like, oh, and like running away. We have to be like, breathe, recenter, bring yourself back into the center of the eye, the pupil, the void, the mother, recenter, the eye of the storm. And that's happened. I do that with breathing, grounding. It really helps if you go sit out on the earth, because this is a big recycling. And so we're witnessing. That's the most important part also. They're all the most important part. But truly though, witnessing is the most important part for healing trauma, because it will not go away until it is witnessed, period. So witnessing. And how do we witness? Meditation. Meditation is the perfect training for witnessing, because it trains you to be centered and to just see, notice, witness all the thoughts coming through, but not attaching to them, not reaching out and be like, oh, that's mine. Oh, that's mine. But you know, when these thoughts come in, especially if we're not trained, they will produce a lot of emotional energy that comes up within us. And then that creates a whole nother fucking vortex and spiral of fucking... We just don't need that. The point is, we need to be centered. We need to be grounded. And we need to know that we're loved and we're protected. And the ring of fire is the most helpful thing that I've thought of, besides just, you know, grounding and breathing, is surrounding yourself. Imagine your aura, your heart, your mind surrounded in a ring of holy fire. Which is funny because I just learned holy fire Reiki. And so I was like, oh, this is actually fucking perfect. But truly though, like divine fire, because that fire is made of pure truth. Pure truth. So anything that is not true, anything that's not for you, will not pass through that ring of fire. It will be burnt the fuck up as soon as you ask it to step through. Like, oh, is this true? Step through the ring of fire. Oh, guess you weren't true. Bye. Like, and not having like any emotion towards it. Just like, oh, okay. You just notice, like you're sitting there watching animals walk by. You know, you're just witnessing. You're just staying still and witnessing, because you are God. You are the highest, your highest self is God consciousness. And so when you are sitting in that vibration, that God consciousness, and you're staying centered in the ring of fire, and you're staying centered in the eye of the storm, you have the most power. You have the greatest vantage point. And so the other day, which was a really tough time for me, it was crazy, dude. Like, this wave, it was like fucking the movie Birds, dude. Like all these birds, because birds like in the tarot, like especially like the Light Series tarot, that's the one I like to use a lot. The swords are birds in that, and so that's how they're represented, because thoughts are like birds, you know, they fly in and out, they fly in and out. And so it was just like this whole army, this whole murder of crows. Not literally crows, but yeah, this is for the drama. It was like this whole big swooping of thoughts all at once, and it hit me hard. I could feel it. That's the thing. That's what's crazy, because I didn't feel like I was attaching thoughts to it, but I kind of was for a second. I did. Okay, now, no, I'm remembering. Like, that's when I was like, is this spiritual psychosis? Because I had some thoughts of like, do I need to be on medication again? Which, like, if you know me, fuck no. Fuck no. That is not the path I will ever walk again. That's just a band-aid, and no offense to anybody, but for me and my path, fuck no. So literally, like, I pulled out my tarot deck and I was like, what is happening? And I was using the Muse tarot, and the Ten of Swords reversed came out, and she's literally just laying there on top of like the mountain, and she's like kind of like, it's almost like she got dropped on the top of the mountain and she was just like stuck there, like the mountain's going through her, and it's kind of intense. But instead of seeing it in a dark way, I saw that, and I instantly heard and I felt, just lay down. And so I just laid down, and it definitely put my body into more of a calm state. So then it was easier for me to not attach any emotions to all the crazy thoughts that were coming in. And I just breathed. I just laid there, and I just steadily breathed, and just diaphragmatic breaths, just one at a time, and just keep focusing on the breathing and remembering that I'm protected and I know that I'm safe, because none of this shit can actually hurt me, because I am not giving it any of my emotional power. I'm not connecting an attachment. Like, it's trying to reach out with like a power cord, and like I'm the outlet. And so if I don't give it an outlet to attach to, I can't get burned. I can't get hurt. You know, it's no, just no, can't, because I'm surrounded, my body, in this ring of fire, and none of this is true. None of it's for me. And so it's almost like it was just going off me. But also when it hits that fire, it's getting purified. And I was just imagining everything that was hitting the fire, that was getting purified, was just getting recycled back into Mother Earth. And I tell you what, dude, like, as I was laying on my bed, I have a comfy bed. I wasn't laying on the actual ground, which probably would have been more helpful. Like, go outside, lay on the ground. I didn't want my neighbors to see me. I was feeling really weird. I was just like, oh, what the fuck? But I was laying, and I just felt this big magnetic force underneath me, like pulling my body down. But it wasn't necessarily pulling like the weight of my body. I felt it pulling out negative energy. The magnetic fluid from the earth was literally just like, just that. I was imagining that recycling happened, and then I could feel it in my body, everything just coming out of me and just being sucked straight down into the earth. And then my partner came in, and he saw me, and he's like, oh baby, because I didn't know what was happening. I didn't want to tell him. I was just like, I think I'm okay, I don't know. But he came in and just, you know, kind of like pet my head, and he's like, you're safe, you're loved, and that helped a lot. It pulled me out of it. I was feeling like really weak for a minute, and then I had mentioned to him earlier, I was like, I really want to get out and pull some weeds, get in with this Virgo energy, get my hands in some dirt. I think that'll really help me. And I didn't. And at that point, he was like, hey, I'm going to go outside and start pulling some weeds. I'm going to be right out here. If you feel good enough, I'd love for you to come join me. And I was like, yeah, probably. And then I kind of just sat with myself for about 3 minutes, and I felt so much better. And I just got up, and I went out there and did the thing, and I just felt amazing afterwards. But the key was just letting it happen, and knowing that it's not happening to me or for me. I am just a giant crystal. Essentially, we all are as human beings. And so energy was being reflected through me, and I was cleansing that. Just as we use crystals to cleanse energy, we ourselves are cleansing the psychic environment of Earth. So I hope that helped. And any questions, anything else, I got you. I love you. I highly recommend holding on to some selenite, rose quartz. Rose quartz especially is powerful as fuck. If you need some darker ones though, like obsidian, shungite, those would be awesome as well. Just don't forget to cleanse them. All right, I love you.